Hello and welcome to a very special interview with Pullela Gopichand. The World Championships are done. India has finished with a very famous medal. Clearly, that aspirational story from world number 39 to making the podium will always be talked about in the echelons of Indian badminton. Gayatri and Treesa really making the country proud. But overall, we've seen some positive signs, some not. Satwik Chirag continued to grapple with injury. Sindhu showed great signs. Lakshya still has that inconsistency tag. So we will do a kind of review, but let's start with the good. Gopi, that Treesa Gayatri story. Now that we put it in perspective, they could have beaten the Chinese. The truth is, they were that good in the first one and a half parts of the game. And that tells you that this could just be the start for them. Despite grappling with injury and all of it, they have really, really turned it around.
Well, I think Gayatri and Teresa have done well. If you look back at history, also two All England semi-finals and things like Singapore Open semi-finals or the wins at BAC events. I think they've been pretty consistent in beating top players, yes, but to do it at a big tournament and to do it in a conditions like here, I think this was important. And I know that they have the ability, they know that, and they've performed a few times in the past to that ability. Yes, injuries have been a challenge, but hopefully once they get over this, then we have a long career ahead.
Yeah, I've asked you this. And you've been through many injuries yourself. Last year, when Gayatri was grappling with a serious injury for many months, then Teresa. Such situations as coach, as mentor, as father, how is it? How difficult is it? Because look, they are young people. The tendency is, oh, I'm not playing. There are challenges. And for me, what stood out is that the partnership remains very strong. Is that something that you also take a lot of heart from? That despite their individual challenges, dealing with injuries, the two have not left each other?
Yes, I think that's something which is really good because Teresa Gayatri was injured for a while, and then Teresa really supported her. And this was almost like the last session and the last point. It was 2019. Teresa had almost done her women's doubles. She was playing for fun mixed doubles, and then in the last point, she goes and clashes with her partner, mixed doubles boy, and then she twists her ankle and it breaks a ligament, which almost put them away for another 3 months. So it was like a long journey. They're traveling on Saturday, on Friday, last session of the day, a week before the tournament, they get injured, and it was good to see. Gayatri was like, "Oh, it's okay. I think these things happen," and then both of them come together and pull off this win. So it's been fantastic, and I think I can share this, and you should ask Teresa when you speak. She came up to me and about a day after we started training, and she had not even completely finished her rehab. And then she gave us, "Sir, I want to talk to you." And I was like, "What?" And never in her life she's asked me for an appointment to talk. And then she's like, "Sir, I need to talk to you." Then I go back to her and I say, "Okay, tell me what it is." And I was prepared for a long conversation. And she's in a typical Malayali accent, "Sir, हमको वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में मेडल जीतना है." And that's all the conversation was. And I'm so happy and that that's come true today.
Wow. And when was this? When was this?
This was about 7, 8 weeks back, and I was really surprised because she never talks so much, and we've never had these kind of conversations. And then I was like, I thought it would be something very important, and she made it
But it was
sound.
important. Come on, what are you saying? World Championship medal. How is it not important?
No, I think the way, like, it was like, "Sir, humko jeetna hai," is what she did. And it was almost like I thought she wanted a half an hour window to discuss something. And that was the end of the conversation. I said, "Nahi, nahi, hum log jeetenge zarur. We'll train and we'll get better." And this was, she hadn't even started playing till that day. So it was good. And yeah, I think I'm very happy that we pulled this win off.
Beautiful, beautiful. A word on Sumit, because clearly, Sumit has been with them, very important. Look, it's only natural that people talk about you. All of us will talk about you. I think Sindhu tweeted as well that the world will talk about Gopi Anna, but credit to Sumit as well. It is not easy to be there day in, day out and helping the girls.
No, I think it's supremely important. I think Sumit has been fantastic. He's always been there. Shifra, who's her strength and conditioning, Kiran, Krishna Kumari. I think the entire lot of them have really worked hard to put them back where they are. I think there's a lot of team effort which is going. Unfortunately, I get a lot of credit for it. But having said that, I think Sumit has been a very key member of the team. And I'm so happy that the girls enjoy working with him. And he's a very passionate guy who puts in a lot of effort. So it's fantastic work from him and the entire team.
So Asian Games coming, Olympic Games cycle has started, qualification. So can I sort of put you in the spot and say you had stopped traveling for a while, you were focusing on the youngsters more in the academy. Will you kind of rejig your focus as well as the Olympic cycle, 1.5, 2 years, qualifications? Will you kind of start traveling? Because I saw you with Satvik and Chirag here. I saw you with Treesa and Gayatri here. Will you be part of the circuit more closely in the next couple of years?
I think, yes, I think this is an important time. I think Asian Games, I'm there definitely, but I will be traveling a little more to ensure that the next year and the transition from this to the Olympic qualification, I think, happens smoothly.
And now, a couple of emotional questions. I mean, for God's sake, open up. I mean, I know it means a lot to both of us. I mean, when Teresa kind of ran to you and that hug, first Teresa, then Gayatri. I mean, I know Teresa is as much your daughter. I've been to your house many times. I've spoken to Teresa, and she's like, if you tell her the sky is black, she might as well agree. I mean, it is that kind of blind partnership, faith, whatever you want to call it. So, is that a special medal? I mean, I know Saina, Sindhu, Satvik, Chirag, all of them have won medals. But is this one special, or will you say no? The coach takes precedence here rather than relationships. How do you kind of look at this medal?
I think the relationship takes more precedence over the coach. I think each one of my students, whether it's Saina, whether it's Hindu, Pranay, Shrikant, Satvik, I think each of them have been relationships which were very, very important. And I don't think maybe after the event, maybe when I come back to the room and reflect, or when Gayatri comes back home, maybe it's another feeling. But I think on court, it is only fair to say that I think all of my students, I have treated them as my children.
But one thing one has to say, Pullela Gopichand, the All England champion, one of the greatest Indian badminton players, all of that goes with you. But now I will say Gayatri has won a world championship medal. You don't. So that's
Yes,
something that you have to now give to
and I
her.
really would love to have people call me as Gayatri's father rather than Gayatri as my daughter.
I think she's on course. If she wins an Olympic medal a couple of years down the line, I will be the first one to go up and say, Gopi, now it's the other way around. It's the daughter who's taken over, because this is a story. I mean, I remember Commonwealth Games 22, and they announced Gayatri Gopichand Pullela, and all of us sort of started screaming because that name. And she had a smile on her face, a very young Gayatri, 4 years back, 19. She had a smile, a sheepish smile, kind of embarrassed. But now she's on her own. I mean, she's Gayatri Gopichand on her own, right? I mean, a world championship medalist doesn't happen too often. But Gopi, I've asked you this: how tough is this surname? When I see a Rohan Gavaskar, I see an Abhishek Bachchan, I see a Arjun Tendulkar, I see a Gayatri Gopichand. It is tough in this country. We don't have champions, and we put a lot of pressure on these kids. See Arjun, see Gayatri, see anyone. It is very difficult. Your thoughts?
I think it's very unfair to compare. I think in his own right, Arjun without the Tendulkar name would have been a success. But unfortunately, with Tendulkar's name, people would actually start to compare. And that's very unfair. I think I wanted always this to be clear. I'm very proud of what she's achieved, even without this medal and without many wins. I think to be even close to where she's playing at. Just look at her career, right? Two All England semi-finals, top 10 in the world, the best ever ranking a women's doubles player has had from the country. Two Asian championships where they've actually pulled out matches for their team unbeaten, and they've made medals, and a world championship medal. I think this is so much, so much. And then people would start, when is the big one coming? I said, I think people in our country somehow are unfair about sporting performances. but that's okay. And also the surname, also they are, but that's the way reality is. There's certain privileges which you get, certain difficulties which you face, but I think that's the part of it. But yeah, as a father, I feel it's unfair. As a coach, I feel the sport for the sport it's unfair. But that's the way sport is. It's cruel, and it gives you a lot of pressure, both on the negative and the positive side. Things are very different.
Hmm.
That's the reality. So we have to accept it. There's nothing to complain about. It's okay, but it's a sad reality.
I kind of agree, and in fact, I feed into that problem that you just said with my next question. That Asian Games coming, 20 days left, massive competition again. I mean, because this was a home World Championship, and you could see that crowd in Delhi, you could see that crowd unreal. I mean, that crowd in that semi-final against China, right? And now with so much focus, Asian Games in 20 days time, how are you looking at? Because again, now that this high medal and all of that, there will be a lot of focus, a lot of attention, a lot of pressure on the girls.
I think it's back to the basics. I think tomorrow morning we start training, and then at the end of the day, uh, you get your chances, you convert them. That's how you look at it. And yeah, as athletes who have played, who are in the sport, I think these are part and parcel of the sport. But I think it's just to forget the highs also and the lows also as quickly as possible and return back to be good in training and learn from your mistakes.
Could be a word on Delhi because so much was talked about during the Indian Open. I mean, bird poop and monkeys and whatever. But this was a show. This was a show. I had three of my reporters turn up every day. In fact, let me put it on record. I had not said this to Sanjay Mishra because he would have helped with accreds. Not you. You would have helped with accreds. But I'd sent three of my reporters with tickets, 548 rupees every day per person, so that I could get all the angles and reporters with accurate. So each one of them come and tell me, oh, you know what, sir, this was some show. Delhi turned up, supported. This was India on show. So when we talk about the negatives, we must also talk about the positives.
I think it's a fantastic event. I think hats off, congratulations to the government of India, to SAI for putting the stadium in place, for BI for actually hosting it the way it did. I think Sanjay has done a phenomenal job. I think Hemanta Visweshwar for pulling this off event and supporting from the back end so much. And I think overall, Delhi to have 7,000-8,000 people come and watch ticketed events, and then the support we got. And the way the tournament happened was fantastic. In Feb, if somebody said that this was possible, I think people would have laughed, but I think they really did renovations for the stadium. They plugged all the loopholes and pulled off a fantastic event. I think congratulations to the government, SAI, and BI for pulling off a wonderful event.
Yeah, and it kind of sets stage because we are hosts of the Commonwealth Games, we are bidding for the Olympic Games, that we can turn it around in such short time. Not one athlete had one bad word. So this is a major success in India's cap overall. Last few questions. When I look beyond Gayatri and Treesa Gopi, Lakshya struggled. Should have, I expect more from Lakshya. Ayush won that incredible match against Shiuchi, but then Alvi Farhan is becoming a bit of a mental block. Satwik Chirag, I was talking to the few doctors and people in the know, and they were saying Satwik eventually will have to bite the bullet of the surgery. So it kind of is a bit of a checkered story when I look beyond this particular medal. Sindhu is on a comeback trail. That was a great match. She should have won. How are you looking at the overall performance going into the Asian Games?
Laksh maybe was having some kind of an injury, so he couldn't be there in 100% because I haven't seen him lose such matches. Very rarely in his career, in a big event, he's lost some matches like this. But have knowing Laksh and his commitment, I'm 100% sure that he'll come back for the Asian Games. He's too good a player to have bad days often. This is more, I don't think he said it, but I think it was some kind of an injury which he was struggling with. He's too good of a person to accept that. But I think that is what the case is. Ayush, yes, had a fantastic first round, second round, and then I think the third round. Ali Farhan is somebody who he will have to figure his way out, but he's got the weapons. He's a big match player also in the sense having beaten Shiuki, having beaten Kunlawat, and many of the other top players. I think he's somebody whom we are confident of will give us the results. As far as Satwik and Chirag are concerned, I think they've had a good Singapore Open result, but after that, I think he's had his shoulder injury flare up. The coaches, physios, and trainers are working. The entire team is working, and I hope that we're able to get the answers quickly for his return. But when he comes back to full fitness, they're definitely a world class pair.
Can he turn it around for Asian Games? I mean, now that they're back, 3 weeks left, is that a realistic expectation that the duo will be back in full sync for the Asian Games?
Yes, definitely.
Final couple of questions before I let you go. I mean, when I also look at the overall sport, I mean, the Gayatri-Treesa medal. Oh, by the way, word on Sindhu, please, because we missed out on. I thought Sindhu was brilliant. I mean, the way that she made a comeback in that second game, stretched the Chinese world number three. She could have closed it out had that injury being thick by Z. I thought was bit play acting, but Sindhu was so dignified in defeat. So to see her at 31 still have the same hunger is a positive for me.
Sindhu has been fantastic overall, the way she has played, the way she has moved on court. And yes, she's lost that close match. She's lost a couple of those close ones. One to Chen Yufei recently and twice to Wang Zifi. But I do believe that she has, apart from Ansi Young, I don't see many players in the circuit who are capable of beating her. And I hope that she's able to pull out those big results again.
So you reckon for another 2 years she can be there at least till LA for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Final one. We always sort of move from one cycle to the other. Last Olympics, no medal in badminton after 2012, 2016, 2021. Lakshya came very close. Lakshya very, very close. Satwik Chirag very close in that Chia so match. Uh, Going forward in LA, I mean, we have talent, right? Whether it's women's doubles, whether it's Sindhu, whether it's Ayush and Laksh, whether it's Satwik Chirag. How are you kind of looking and now the macro picture as the head coach and national coach of Indian badminton, even today, despite Tan Kim Har, despite Itsanwa, despite Sumit, despite all of them, people will come to you, Gopi, to put you in the seat, right? Is there a medal? Can we win a medal? How are we going to prepare for the next 1.5 years? Your thoughts?
I think we're looking at a transition from the 21 to 15. I think it will be an advantage for Indian players. I think it'll be good. We have some very good. We've spoken about Sindhu, but I think Unnati has done well as well. She lost a close match to Michelle
Yeah,
B.
yeah.
That's one which is important. But behind her also, whether it's Tanvi, whether it's Devika, whether it's Ashmita, we've got another 5, 6 players who've actually done well
Yeah,
in.
top 50,
Yeah.
so many players. I don't think any other country has.
Yeah, so and they're capable of winning big tournaments in the sense they can beat any of these names which are here in the quarterfinals as well. So I do believe that Indian women's badminton, we at least have about 8, 10 names which are very good, and there will be no dearth of talent on the women's singles side, is what my feeling is. We need to work on a few of the paired events. I think there's work to be done definitely. As far as men's singles is concerned, I think Ayush is there for the long run. Very young guy, very talented, brilliant understanding of the sport. I think he's there long term. Lakshya is going to be there long term. I think we have beyond this as well. I think have another bunch of players. So I think badminton is in safe hands. The amount of effort which the government of India is putting in, the BI is putting in, I'm sure we will continue to get more and more results in the future.
Finally, will there be a celebration or will you make her go to court and start and say, no, 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 no cheat day, no nothing? What's happening? Are you going to celebrate with your daughter and Treesa or what's happening? I mean, give me something. Lakshmi also deserves a celebration.
Yeah, I think we'll all celebrate, and Gayatri and Treesa will be training.
Thank you, Pullela Gopichand. You're an absolute, inspiration for me. I mean, one of my heroes. I've said it publicly. I will say it again.
Thank you.
More like you, Indian sport would have benefited. Very pleased to have you as a friend. I look up to you in many ways. I take inspiration from you. Continue to doing the good work. I'll see you in Hyderabad soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pullela.
For India's best multi-sports coverage, your platform is one, and that's Revsportz. So like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. I think by now you know that we will be everywhere in different parts of the world and bring you on-ground reportage. As I said, your best multi-sports coverage on Revsportz, your favorite destination.